Good afternoon, everyone. This is Negotiating Happiness. I am your host, Adriana Fierstro, and we are here on UPRN Live Radio. Grab your coffee, grab your lunch, and come join us. I have Brittney Ashley here today with me, and we are on part 2 of our AI dive-in. So, hello, Brittney. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just about to do our little intro here. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about the workflow first approach. You are coming in again on part 2, and we're shifting from curiosity to implementation with the workflow first approach. So instead of shopping for an AI tool and hoping it finds a job, we're going to show you how to start where the work already is. Identify the tasks that eat up the time, create bottlenecks or drop the balls, and then decide whether automation, AI support, or human-led process is the right fit. We're going to break down repeatable workflow areas in service businesses, intake, quoting, follow-up, customer support, content, and hiring, and explain how to think in layers. Standard operating procedures, processes, systems, just so that you don't add AI on top of chaos, and clarify when to automate versus where to augment. There is a difference. You'll also learn how to avoid tool sprawl and measure ROI in plain terms. Hours back, fewer slips, quicker replies, ending with a simple workflow audit to help you pick your first AI-worthy project. So who is Brittney? For those of you that are just tuning in now, Brittney is an enthusiastic, multi-passionate entrepreneur on a mission to revolutionize the business game. With the work landscape changing at warp speed, it's high time we team up to make our dreams a reality. Beyond the business hustle, Brittney is a proud Métis mama with a bundle of experience in diverse sectors, including tech, a certified business coach, ACC accredited, and an imposter syndrome coach. Creative Dynamics started as a passion project aiming to empower fellow moms to work from home, and it evolved when Brittney spotted a gap in finding rock-solid team players. Picture Creative Dynamics as your full-service boutique-style crew spread across Canada to supercharge business owners. At Creative Dynamics, their values are simple: dedication, reliability, and an unwavering commitment to learning, all in the name of tending to business needs. And if you can't join us today live, or you can't finish the episode live, don't worry. You can always catch us later on all of the platforms that we're live. We particularly have Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Catch some of our snippets on Instagram as well. And if you have questions, remember we're live, so go ahead and type those in and we will try to feature you.
Amazing.
Sorry. It was a mouthful.
I don't know if anyone else feels it, but I feel like, well, technically it's like July, like we're only a few days off. So I was dropping my son off and it was like dead out there. I was like, ghost town, Victoria. Like there is nobody on the roads. I'm like, I should be sleeping too.
I know here too. I guess in Southern Ontario in this part, we have a week of figuring out daycare before everybody's camp starts or like summer situation happens. So like, you know, thank God for grandparents or friends that are watching our kids right now. Yeah. So, because school's over.
I know. I'm excited. I feel like this is like finally we have one more month for us anyways for daycare, and then we're off to kindergarten. So I'm like a lot of big changes for the fall. So I'm super excited for those.
I know, yeah. I can't believe that I'm the mom of a first grader. I was having such a hard time with his like first day of school, last day of school picture. And then I realized I was like, oh my God, I stumbled upon like the last day of daycare and then like the last day of like junior kindergarten. I was just kind of trying not to lose it.
Aww. I know I probably will be like that when I do drop off at kindergarten. I'll probably be like, it's my last baby.
Yes, baby. So sad.
But I'm also excited to have more time back.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Who isn't, right? But at the same time, I mean, these kids are just, they're growing way, way too fast, right?
They are. Well, I feel like more so than ever, not even just talking about technology today, because I know we'll go into a lot of AI things, but I feel like the whole world is just sped up like no tomorrow. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I'm just like seeing it more.
Maybe.
You know, like your parents are like, oh, life goes by really fast, like da-da-da. And you're just like, oh, you're crazy. But then it's like, no, it really is.
It is, and there's not much that you can do, except this kind of ties in really well with our topic for today, where we discuss on how like our time is broken up on things, and you realize that there's not that much time left over for, you know, family and friends and summer, and everybody wants to slow down, but I think we're so wrapped up into our business that it's like you can't slow down. Like you have to continue to make operations grow, or else how is it going to revive itself in, you know, September? So I think this fits in really well.
Absolutely. Now is the time, like I think I even told you that, like for me, it's the time of reflection. It's a bit weird market right now than anything, I feel like. So it's a time to reflect, refine more so than ever. And with the tools of AI, I think it's will help you a lot. So I'm excited for our conversation part 2 today.
Yes. So we're going to let's put our presentation here. Hopefully people are going to come in and
yes, I created a PowerPoint yet again for us. I'm a visual person. So anyone watching us, like I just, for the visual individuals, I know how much I like visuals. So I wanted to put like a little PowerPoint together and have that for us today.
Yes. So here's the, I've just PDF'd it for us so that just to make it a little bit easier.
Perfect.
And we're on, so AI in the small business, the workflow first approach. This is our second episode here. So take it away, Brittney.
Yeah. If you haven't watched the first episode, we really talked about like where the history came from AI. It didn't just happen recently. Unfortunately, AI is just in our households more than ever. So it just feels like it has taken over really of its own, but really AI has started years ago. So make sure you go take a look at our first episode. As Adriana said, that we're doing kind of like module pieces here because there's so much we can talk about. So first we did the history. Today we're talking a bit about small businesses and workflows and implementation there. I know we're going to have one conversation on sustainability and AI and ethics, which is really important. So we're spacing it all out because these are really big conversations to have. And when Adrian and I were planning this, we want to make sure that it's in bite-sized pieces for everybody because it's a lot. Because I'll just talk about myself. I know when AI came out more than ever, I know it hasn't just started, but I felt for me this year anyways, it felt like AI just started and I felt overwhelmed. I didn't know how to like comprehend it. I was having my own imposter syndrome thoughts myself, even though I worked in so many different industries. Like I just felt like an imposter in the end of it. So I ended up taking courses, but I'm addicted to courses as Adriana knows. I'm like every year I'm doing something. I'm like, I just signed up for the AI and Harvard course, but like I'm like such a structured person. So like for me, that helps me learn it. Not saying that you need to take courses. You can learn AI going to YouTube and playing around with yourself, like playing with the tool itself. Yeah. So the first slide is where a lot of people start with AI is curiosity. And not to say that curiosity isn't bad per se here. So I don't want anyone to read it and be like, oh my goodness, like I'm not supposed to be curious. Yes, absolutely. Be curious about AI. But we want you to walk a little bit deeper on how you can implement it to the next level because a lot of users are using AI at, I would say, Adriana, like a high level. Like we're not into the depths of it. So creating like AI skills in Claude, like that's another level. Really leveraging and building a program that can really support you in the back end.
Yeah. And you have to think about too is how much time you're spending trying to figure this out, right? Like you're putting in, you're either really worried about it because you're not quite getting AI, or you're at that stage where you're like, oh no, it's just not there yet. So, or maybe you fall somewhere in the middle where you kind of use it a little bit, but not quite. So again, these are very like high level situations that you're in. So I think maybe we need to give people a clear idea, the ones that are on the fence. I know that the Harvard Business Review said that people toggle between apps 1,200 times, so 1,200 times per day. and reorienting adds up to probably 4 or 5 hours a week. Just juggling between apps. I'm not even talking about trying it out and then moving to the next one and whatever. So that's 9% of work time. You're just switching between apps. And for people like Brittney and I, which could be a lot of you guys, right? Where you have multiple clients or whatever, that's a lot of time. A lot of time that you could be actually taking that and maybe building something with it, or redirecting it somewhere else, like with your kids or summer, you know. It's you have to think about it. You're bouncing between an email, a CRM, a spreadsheet, a project management tool, and the cost is real. So instead of shopping for tools, we want to start where the work already is. So we're trying to identify that, right? So pick the word first.
Absolutely. And it's really figuring out, like, in your daily basis of like what's draining you, and then thinking of the implementation there. But I know we'll get into kind of like the SOPs and procedures. Maybe we should have started there, because I don't want people just to slap in AI wherever. Like, I want you to be mindfully logistical here of how you're implementing it and why you're implementing it, and really asking like those curious, like getting curious on the implementation side, right?
Right.
But in essence, it's really thinking of how it can support you on your daily basis in ways that you never even thought of. And we can kind of touch on quickly on an event planner that we did a business plan for, right, Adriana? We came in, we always do our business audits first, because we want to see where your business is. There's no point of us implementing AI in chaos. So if your business is already in chaos, we want to kind of see what's happening there. But with this particular person, we thought of how we can leverage AI is with their budgeting processing. So I just want people to understand we're not going crazy with AI here. It's really being mindful and being sustainable and ethical on how we can leverage it within a small business to get you to the other side as we build all these other structures.
Right. And you have to start thinking too, AI is not the problem. So if you've tried it, AI is not the problem. It's a workflow problem. So the searching, the chasing, the handoffs, that's what stalls you from using AI more. So the average interaction with AI is where you spend approximately 20% of the work week looking for internal information and related chasing to internal information. This was a stat taken from McKinsey Global Institute, and it was in their social economy section. So obviously this is something that impacts a lot of people. And it's not something that can easily be fixed. So we're going to try and show you how to put that into a workflow, right? So this is why we pick one and then improve it end to end, so that you're not going backwards and being like, okay, this is still not working. So this is why it's so important to just continue.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think maybe like if we switch to the other side, I know you and I talked about this in our first episode on AI, the history, like just about kind of what is AI. And I think we kind of, it's hard because AI gets thrown around, just artificial intelligence, AI in essence gets thrown out quite a bit without going into the layers. Do you want to switch to the slide? Because I can't.
This one, yep.
It's like trying to switch it. But you can kind of like, for anyone who's visually seeing this, Adrian and I wanted to put like a little kind of mapping plan together so you can kind of see how it's like artificial intelligence is the whole umbrella. Then we have machine learning, generative AI, and large learning models. So you can actually physically see kind of the build out and how it's all kind of interlocked together. Because I find that when you're talking to people, they just generally say AI. I'm using AI. They're not getting into the root of it.
Yeah. So this, we've talked a little bit about this, right?
Yes.
Did you want to continue, or?
I can't see my screen. One second.
Okay.
Maybe you can take it away. Something's happening. I don't know what's happening.
That's weird. Okay. Hold on 1 second. We're having technical difficulties.
I don't know what is it. It just told me that we're not connected. Okay.
Oh, it's telling me that Facebook is not connected for some reason, but it keeps doing that to
You
us.
switch to the next slide. So this is like the umbrella, but then we go into like the next, which takes it into
The plain good, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like more of the umbrella key terms. So artificial intelligence is a big umbrella. So tech doing tasks we tie to human thinking. So again, we need to reiterate that AI is a tool that we leverage. You're using your brain to build these mechanisms. It's not the other way around. It wouldn't be able to be built without us. It's always the human doing it. And I want to reiterate, it's the humans in the loop. Machine learning is software that learns patterns from examples, not hard-coded rules. Generative AI is AI that creates new content, text, images, audio. I feel like more of us are kind of more understanding the generative AI in the realm there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you probably have heard, and this is like LLM, large language models. So chatbot, Claude, Gemini, which we're really all seeing right now in our households. And that is why we feel like AI is taking over, because we have access to it. It's just kind of like when the internet started. If anything, if we kind of compare it to that kind of mechanism of like how the internet took over, that's kind of how it's feeling right now with AI, because we have it at our fingertips like no other.
Right. And it's accessible to everybody. This is why this is so important, right? You have a way more updated example, but I think I keep saying, like, remember when we got the printing press and then all of a sudden, like, literacy rates skyrocketed across the world? It's kind of like that. People think that the moment has passed. I don't think so. I think we're still in that momentum where we need to make this our own, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I was already looking at the time. I have so many slides.
No. It's okay.
We'll go to the next slide because we haven't even got to the main part yet.
That's funny.
So it's important to kind of pick a workflow, not a tool. I think it's kind of like changing your brain on where in the workflow can't speak. I need more coffee today. My brain is still on fire, like going in vacay mode already. Pick a workflow that maybe you're struggling with in your organization. So I always like to even just start with the intake. Because really sometimes the intake can take so much more of our time than we even know. And I'll just use me personally. This is before the AI craze, but when I started Crave Dynamics, I knew that one, I didn't want a cell phone or whichever a phone connected to anything so anyone can get a hold of me. I like phones, but not that much.
Right.
But two, when they came in, I want to make sure that I understood where the gaps are with the organization, maybe bottlenecks or anything like that, so I can capture it before we get into a discovery phase and even prep myself of understanding the organization a bit better. So it's like that big flow, and it's kind of helps you dig a little bit deeper, but then it also helps you if you feel like you're not comfortable in the sales mechanisms for sale calls. It makes you feel a little bit more prepared than really just jumping on in and hoping for the best.
Yeah. And you have to realize that this is a lot. And we looked up a few stats here. So the global average number of apps per company reached about 101. So this is why you don't know where anything lives, or this is why you don't understand how it all connects, right? This report was done by OKTA. But I mean, you don't need to run 101 in order to feel overwhelmed. You could be running 20 and it's still very overwhelming, even if it is just yourself, right? And it's not just you. Like, obviously, this is a common occurrence. So we need a rule that protects us from like the shiny object syndrome. Whenever we're thinking about all of this is why we tend to pick tools that cover a lot of these buckets, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're just kind of not knowing to start, I always say the intake is probably the best way to start.
Yeah.
Because you start getting in that flow and start thinking a little bit more in different, and this is where you can use AI to support you a little bit too. you can have your certain prompts of being like, this is my organization, this is what I'm doing, this is my process right now. I need to leverage it X, Y, and Z, but I'm actually overwhelmed and I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And this next slide actually shows you exactly how we think about this, right? There we go.
Yeah, the 3 layers. I actually did it. It's not even live yet. This is like my blog that's just sitting there in limbo land that I've yet to publish, but I did all.
We believe in this. This is what we implement with our own clients too. So this is practical information that everybody needs to absorb.
Yeah. So I think before you're even starting and implementing AI, like I always say, like we were just saying, just don't start with AI and throw it in there. There's some clients that I've seen already that, for example, started leveraging AI to support them on their admin.
Yeah.
And things were being pushed to Slack and all of these things. And like, I was even feeling stressed out. So if you're even working with a team, I highly suggest you have general meetings with people before you just throw it into the system and hoping for the best, because you're going to make your admin person crazy. Project manager, like you need to think before you just throw it into the process and hoping for the it's magically all going to come together, because it won't.
These are the layers. These are the layers that need to happen every single time you include the AI. This is what Brittney is saying. Is like people don't think about the layers, right?
Exactly. So we have like the SOP, which I like to say is the recipe. It's a step by step for one task for a teammate to kind of reference and run with. Then the process is how recipes are connected to the SOP. And then we have the system, which is what you can think of as like the whole kitchen, the whole essence. So it's, if it was in a triangle, I should have made a triangle like this.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of the kitchen, the middle, and the recipe. And then if AI is, and that's all situated and your business is like killing it, and you're like, yeah, I really want to leverage AI now, then we're going to see how we can leverage AI in the full tier of these models, because we want to make sure that they're all operating together. And then also on top of that, educate your team to be AI architects on how to leverage it. And then the SOP, I want to reiterate, is also making sure you check your AI, not just to keep letting it go.
Oh yeah, AI makes a ton of mistakes and it doesn't have guardrails if you don't give it guardrails. So it kind of goes off on its own, right? So this is this slide here is about how AI actually interacts at those different levels. So you've got the SOP layer, the process layer, and the system layer that Brittney just went through. So at the SOP layer, you can think of it as every time, AI drafts the email or gets the notes together or writes the first proposal. These are all things that you've given it guardrails from, that you've given it information that it's drawing from your knowledge to put it all together. And it's right, it says here, AI just cooks it faster, but it's still coming from you. And then at the process layers, it moves the work in between the steps. So like the SOP layer is one step or one area, right? The process layer, there might be 2 areas or 3 areas, right? So we're expanding it. It flags what needs approvals. It fills handoffs that used to like sit there for days. The reminders are coming through of like, hey, you haven't posted this blog that's sitting here, that kind of thing. And at the system layer, it changes what's possible doing because of all the other 2 layers that are interacting with each other, right? That becomes the whole. You're part of that system. It's you and the SOPs and the process layer, right? And that system will dictate what tools you actually need, because obviously this interacts with more than one thing, right?
Yes.
So then this is where in the system where we go, does it augment it or does it automate it? Right? Like, do we let it run on its own? With guardrails. I want to be very specific. There always has to be guardrails for this thing, right?
Guardrails, and then like the ethical side.
Yes, that's part of it.
Yeah. I'm just going a little deeper, because some people, when they think of guardrails, they don't think about the ethics. So Adriana and I are very ethical on how we build these systems. It's not just slap together, hope for the best situation. Like, we're very methodical, getting into the roots of your business and where we're automating and why we want to pull in AI here, and making sure that it is into the standards with the ethics too that's going around.
Yeah, you also want to be very transparent as to what you're giving the client in terms of information, right? Mm-hmm. So you're not just pulling out, whatever this AI is giving you. You're saying, I generate things to give me a base, and then I work off of it with my own. If your entire business is AI generated, you're going to have a really hard time sustaining that, because anybody can do that, right? So there, you lose the momentum. It's like, how do you use it to augment something that you have, instead of you're letting AI just build it? Just remember that AI is trained on other people's information, right? So it's already being done. So creativity wise is very debatable. There's a really interesting debate happening, right? Like, creativity wise, whether it's just stealing from other people, or it can't really think on its own, or it can do combinations of things. But at the end of the day, it's still built on our information. So that's why you have to be very careful when you automate or augment, right? It matters when you augment with AI drafts. You still have to read it through. You still have to understand what it's saying, and do we have the appropriate information in there, right? Like proposals, sensitive emails, hiring decisions. You can't just let it go off on its own. When we talk about augmenting, it's augmenting your brain power. When we're talking about automating, it is simply doing a repetitive task that's going from one step to the other, that doesn't need brain power. We just know it needs to be done from A to B, right?
Absolutely. And so, like, again, the rule of thumb here, if you're looking at our screen, AI drafts and gathers, and you author and own the final word. Just to keep reiterating that. Yeah, I need to segue for a second.
Okay, pause.
When you're talking, the only thing I can think about right now, I probably sent you these TikTok videos, but there's somebody, because there's AI doctors now.
Yeah.
There's somebody on TikTok who just loves to troll these AI doctors and comes in with a baby doll, like a plastic baby doll, and it's named Tuna. If anyone and likes to troll the AI doctor,
what?
Like, hey, I have my daughter here, Tuna, and we're like trolling it and just like pressing the buttons to see like what it would do. And like, seriously, like it's quite funny to see, because you're seeing at firsthand why we can't have AI doctors.
Yes. Also, this applies for law. I want everybody to understand, just because you're using an AI to draft your contract, that AI is not thinking of all the other legal implications that go within a contract or a relationship. It doesn't know to ask you the appropriate questions as much as it thinks it does. As somebody who has legal experience, I can tell you it does not, and it makes a huge difference. So doctors, lawyers, accountants, I don't know. There are nuances that professionals are trained in that AI does not have. This is where you need to augment, not automate your process.
Exactly. I think there's, and I keep saying this, that we need to, like, we as humans have the right to speak up when AI is enough. Yes, it can leverage and help get back our time, and we'll get to the return on investment there too. And it can help leverage. And I think we live in such a culture that it's like move faster, go faster. But if you go in different cultures, it's like polychronic time. I'll show up when I show up and have a glass of wine and still get some work done and maybe have a nap. But like, it's really important. So I'm excited to see where AI can go, being mindful how we implement it. But it's also like the other, the shiny object trap. That's me.
Yeah, I feel like you have that more than I do.
Sending messages always to Adriana. Have you seen this one?
And I'm sitting there going, I have not caught up for the other 6 that we're talking about. But before we go into this, let's do a quick intro for anybody that is just tuning in, you're listening to Negotiating Happiness, and we're live on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are here with Brittney Ashley, and we are talking about part 2 of our mini-series on AI, and it is the workflow first approach. And we are at the stage where we're talking about beware of the shiny object trap. So we have some stats here too, where I guess workers lose an average of 51 minutes per week to tool fatigue, which is about 44 hours per year. And I think that this is a very conservative number. This was done with Fast Company. They did some coverage with Cornell University and a localized study. And I mean, an hour a week doesn't sound huge until you realize that's basically a full work week every year per person lost to tool friction. Not even, failed tools or like trying this and not working it out. We're talking simply about tool friction, right? So what does that look like? Well, one in, one out. You name the workflow before the tool, give the tool one job to prove it, and then retire what it replaces. So if you have the workflow, you'll be able to figure out that the tool won't work pretty quickly, rather than trying to make the workflow fit within the tool.
Absolutely.
Right?
And for someone who has ADHD, me,
same.
I do have shiny object trap, like 100%. Like I was just saying, like I send so many things to Adriana. I'm like, what about this one? What about this one? But I'm also the kind of person that like one and done, I learn it and then I move on to something next kind of situation. But I am really good at piecemealing the whole picture of how it all comes together. Like that's
right.
That's my shiny object trap, but it's in a good way for me because that's how my brain works.
Yeah, but see, it takes an average person something like 23 minutes to fully refocus after an interruption. So, I mean, that's a long time. So we're not like the 51 minutes per week thing. It does not include interruptions, right? So to me, that sounds really costly, right?
For this particular like conversation, like don't be like Brittney and go do all the things because that's what Brittney thrives in. That's like the dopamine hits. But it's all about like how like Adriana and I really find like a tool that fits in your organization that will help leverage your workflow. So don't be like me and do all the things and want to test it all out. I do it for my clients.
Yeah, this is different, right? Like this is the world we live in. It's different, but for yourself, like an interruption like that, it could be really costly if it's happening with like 100 apps across your company, right? I also forgot to say this when we were talking about augmenting and automating. Like automate the low risk stuff, augment the high risk stuff, right? Like that's how we're always thinking.
Yep.
So keep that in mind when you're having the shiny object, trap. Which is, again, it's really easy to do, right? So this is what we were sort of talking about. We're trying to measure ROI in plain terms, like how many hours do you want back? How many slip ups can you really afford with your clients or in your work? And quicker replies typically means that deals get finished faster. It means that information gets transposed from one platform to the other. That means maybe 10 other people that were waiting on you are finally able to finish their part in the whole thing, right? Oh, we have a comment here from Heidi. By the way, she said hi from Boulder. I just didn't read it out. She goes, I love the beware of the shinies, right? Because it's a real thing.
It is. I follow that.
It's true.
Yeah, the hours back from like you have to think of like the why you started your organization. A good chunk of us want hours back. Like we don't want to work generally a 9 to 5, but we as entrepreneurs end up working 9 to 5 and some.
This is the perfect time to put that meme in there that said, I started my own business so I wouldn't work a 9 to 5, and now joke's on me because I'm working 24/7. And this is where to put it in, because before you get to the hours back portion, it takes a lot of freaking work, right?
It does. And I think for those who are listening who are parents, hours back are really important in your day to day, because kids are young once, right? So sometimes like I'm super excited this summer to kind of like take some time off and just be with the kids because they're getting older. Soon they're going to be like my daughter already is like, get out of my room. I'm in her room right now, by the way. This is why we're moving. No space up in this house. But yeah, like I think hours back as a parent, I know is really important. As they get older, you want to go do fun things. Quicker replies. I think everybody has that expectation of a very fast reply, more so than ever, too. But it'll help you feel like I have OCD with my inbox. So and responding to emails really fast. So it's nice to know that I have some automation in there to help me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the easiest way for people to start, and I think I was talking about it last week too, is figure out where are you most often and see if that platform that you already use will automate some things for you. And the easiest way is email rules. And a lot of people still don't use them. And I was like, I don't know about you guys, but I get hundreds of emails, but if not thousands every week. And if we didn't have some of those things in place, it would be very, very hard to keep on top of it all. And sometimes you don't. It's just the reality of it. But at least with email rules, you're able to have some organization on there. And hopefully, if you prioritize your actual, priorities of what's going on, you can get quicker replies out of there. But again, this is very, very basic. Like we can start very, very basic in order to get some of your time back. It might not seem like a lot, but trust me, it is. We have a comment here. Heidi says, I absolutely agree. I'm watching my granddaughter these days and I feel it's so important to help and watch her grow and learn. Yeah, and you need time to do that, right? And she says that I wish my ADHD would focus on my email rules, Heidi. Email rules. We got to get those in there for you.
Yes. Or color code. For my client, like I like to color code things. So like just before jumping in here, I quickly color code and flag some things. If you have an assistant, color coding and filtering is really important. Yeah. I love to organize inboxes once it's organized.
Yes. Like again, remember the stats, right? Like 9% of work time can be lost to app inside toggling and reorienting. Literally just going between them. 20% of the work week can be spent searching for internal information. Like that's insane. Right?
Yeah. Especially if you're using like a virtual assistant or anything like that, like you're paying for their time. So you don't want them to be using that time to be searching for things. This is why Adriana and I do business audits at the very beginning. So we can figure out like what's going on in your business, because so many individuals are like, oh, my VA didn't work, they suck, and it's like you start pulling back the onions and getting to know like their business is disorganized, and unfortunately we can't read your brain and how you like things organized. So that's why we like to structure and have things as organized. Like you don't have to have it all organized by any means, but having it somewhat structured and have the basic foundations to help you start getting more of your time back is really important.
Right. And I mean, you have to start thinking of it as your day-to-day. So I wanted to share something here, which is
not sharing.
Yeah, it's not sharing. But it's more like on your Monday to Friday, if you think about it, let's say from 7 to 7:30, you're having breakfast. Then you have to get ready. You have an hour to get ready, and you have a travel commute of only 30 minutes. You get to work. You have 2 15-minute breaks a day and some lunch, right? And then it's 5 o'clock, 5:30, you get home. You got food and personal time, and then you have to go back to sleep. By the way, in personal time, if you're a parent, that has to be in there. So when you do the math on like a Monday to Friday, you're getting, even so, you have to realize that commute is very conservative, 30 minutes each way. Most people have a higher commute. Most people need more time to get ready. Like what if in that personal prep time of an hour, you still have to get your kids to school and drop them off? Again, this is very, very basic. You're literally losing so much time that in a week, not including the weekends, right? You only have 20 hours of unallocated time.
Which isn't very much.
Right. Right. Like what, and you have to realize that some entrepreneurs save weekends for work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you have Saturday and Sunday off. I mean, that's the ideal, right? This is what we're saying about a 40-hour work week, but typically that doesn't happen. So when do you get to save time, right? Can you work 9 to 5? A lot of us can't work 9 to 5, and this is why we have weird work hours, or we try to be flexible so that we can still get our kids to sports and everything else. But imagine your personal time to be down to 20 hours a week. And in that, it might seem like a lot, but I'm talking about like,
it's not a lot.
It's not, because in that there's parenting time. So the personal time for us is really probably like 5 hours a week, maybe, if that, right? And in that time, like what, you're taking a shower?
Yeah.
Or maybe going for a bit. Like, I don't know. It's insane, right?
Yeah. If you remember or anything, yeah. It's not a lot of hours, especially if you have your kids in different activities.
Yeah.
And the thing, like, we live in old school society that is, we are told to still work a 9 to 5.
Yes.
And I hate it so much. That's why, yes, I started Career Dynamics to help moms to build their careers and to live a flexible work life. And a lot of us want to have a career. It's not that we don't, but there's no, like, I was getting so frustrated here in Victoria, knowing that I had to, like, we have this called like Langford Crawl. So we can stay in traffic to get downtown Victoria, because I'm out in Langford. It depends. And if there's an accident, by all means, we might be there for a solid 2 hours. That can literally sometimes take 20 minutes if it's just straight stretch, which is crazy here. So that all adds up, that time.
1,000%. 1,000%. So why don't we work on how we can improve the small business like workflow? So this is kind of what we were talking about. Mm-hmm. You know, the fastest wins come from reducing friction in the work that repeats and tightening handoffs where things slip, right? So work is already overloaded by fragmentation and tool fatigue, right? Think about the 101 apps, 1,200 toggles a day, 44 hours a year tool fatigue. This is not including just interruptions. Interruptions are probably your biggest culprit here. So in order to stop that, in order to stop the toggling, you need to figure out what is repetitive, what is risky, and what is high volume. And this is where we can either automate or augment, right? So those two kind of help this. So this is what our suggestion is, right? So grab a coffee and a timer, list your weekly tasks, and run each one through these 3 questions. The tasks that hit all 3 are where the AI earns its place first, as in prioritize that first, because you'll get more bang for your buck, so to speak. You'll see it more often. Mm-hmm. Right? So what's repetitive, what's risky, and what's high volume, right? Risky in the sense like we can't drop the ball, this has to get done. Because if it is higher risk, we augment, we don't automate, right? So we put it back in the process properly. Britt, you had a note at the bottom there.
Oh, I was just going to say, and a lot of us, so one of my clients, she doesn't want to make it feel like it's AI generated or an automated workflow. That
no one does, yeah.
And no one really does, right? So we're not saying do all the things and make sure things are like fully automated by any means. It's how we be mindful and implement some of these tools so we can get more time back within our days. But there's ways for us to build these tools in place to really make it like a boutique style customer service with a people person first, not an AI generated person.
Yeah, this is not just about writing emails, guys. This is, we talked about it in the last episodes, right? We definitely don't just want to use it for writing emails, but what we can do is we can get you those forms, or we can get you that information that you're waiting on, or we can have a draft ready for you quicker, or we can have those reminders that says, hey, you need to check in on this person, or whatever. Like, it can be a part of the process, and that's just a reminder, or just a simple, whoop, here you go, here it is. Like, it feeds you those things that maybe your brain can't keep up with, and it's helpful, right? So this is where you get to customize your business, right?
Exactly. So repetitive. That's going to be different for each individual. There's some things that can be repurposed for the same thing for a lot of businesses, but we're not in your business, so we don't know what you do maybe repetitively. So I would break these three into three different pillars, say, but really focus on the repetitive notion and start noting it. Maybe if you like to voice note, start voice noting it in your phone or having your little notepad and just start documented things that you just like, I really don't like doing this. Either don't like doing it or it's repetitive.
Yeah. And Heidi is resonate with what we're saying. She's saying implementing those techniques in your daily routine would be a game changer. 100%. 100%. And Melissa says so many distractions in a day. Yes. And this can help with that, right? The other thing that I would recommend with this, like obviously this is the purpose for today, but don't forget you have time blocking, right? We talk about time blocking a lot. We talk about it in our audits with our clients. And I've actually had friends, by the way, Britt, I've had friends that I maybe see maybe like once a year. They're also entrepreneurs. And they've told me that they've specifically gone back in the archive and listened to my podcast where I run through time blocking. And they were like, this was so helpful because I literally sat down and I did this with my calendar and it's been a game changer and it's been a year and I've been using it. And I was like, that's amazing, right? Like that's amazing that you guys are seeing the practicality of what we're saying and the different types of time blocking and how you can, run your business. And they're the same. They're an entrepreneur. They have 3 kids. They have a partner as well. The partner works. We're talking about people that have limited time to begin with, right? These are real life examples that work.
Absolutely. And time blocking looks different for everybody.
Sure.
I remember when what is it, like years ago, don't even remember, but they're like, wake up at 5 a.m. I was like, no, because there's a book out there that says to be successful, you need to be up at 5 a.m. No, thank you. I did my, back in the day when I worked in the visitor center, losing my voice. I did my time, or working at the fishing resort. I did my time waking up at 3 a.m. I like my sleep. I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
So it's like, find out where you're successful in the day time for you, and then maybe go backwards from that. And so like, that's how I build my time blocking. It's like, I know I work a little bit better, or I'm more creative sometimes in these pillars. And that's where I time block within my structure. And I like check boxes too, to make sure I'm actually doing things, or else I just go wild.
For sure. This is definitely is something that can be personalized to it, right? And I'm also not the person that wakes up at 5 a.m. because it's not happening. It's just not feasible. There are days that I do because of travel, but it's just not feasible for myself. And some people do that and they have like a full workout beforehand, and this is how they get to save on that personal time. And I'm okay with that if that works for people. But for somebody that wants to time block later or earlier in the day, this is why entrepreneurship is great. You get that flexibility. And the number one thing that people say to me when I ask them, like, what's your why? Like, why do you do this? And it's always the flexibility that comes in, because people are realizing that 9 to 5, it is not for everybody. And I was reading something, and I really wish I had some stats to back this up, or maybe the source, but I'm sure you can find it if you look it up. But a 9 to 5 is not very conducive to what our circadian rhythm is as a woman, right? So the 9 to 5 world was built basically on a male model of what their hormonal cycles look like, right? Which is fair. That's fair. But this is something that you need to listen to your own body.
Absolutely. Talking for whatever reason, just like air conditioning. Air conditioning, the level of air conditioning is meant for more males than women. Why do you think we always have to have all the blankets on us?
Because we're cold. Our internal body temperature is not the same as the man's, for sure. No. Sure. There's always these jokes about, there was a joke that was going around social media about, I don't know, a plumber fixing the shower pressure. And it's like, oh, my girlfriend's complaining that the water is not hot enough. And I guess the water was hot. It's like, I don't understand why women are like this. And the plumber like jokingly says, like, she's preparing for hell. Right. And it's like, ha ha ha, hilarious. But at the same time, I want a hot shower. Yes. Like, get out of the way and like make it happen kind of thing. But yeah. What do we have? So Heidi says, I definitely looking into past episodes on time blocking, even though I haven't worked in many years implementing these techniques in my daily life. Helps me organize and I feel more productive. Yeah, it's about like there's some days where you're not going to be following your time blocks, and that's okay. But then the next day you can restart, and that's it.
Yeah, I feel like we're our own worst critics for ourselves, right? Like I know, like I'm really bad at time blocking. I'll say it firsthand. But if I know that I have like a short week, for example, and I want to be very specific and I want to get, like I threw the papers down, but I made sure for after the call that I have it written down so I can check it off today to get my 3 main things that I want done for today, because I'm not working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday until next week.
Yeah.
So I know if I don't write it down, it's in the abyss.
It's not happening. I use my calendar a lot, and that's probably that's one of the things that's risky for me, and I will like to augment, not automate, right? And I've done this slowly with things like Fireflies, and we have note takers and summary, and but Fireflies is within the process. So the process is after a client meeting with Fireflies, we then circulate, the meeting notes and the to-dos in the appropriate chats or in the appropriate boxes where we know what's coming up next. So that's an example of augmenting. So you have to do this exercise, right? So whether it's your intake workflow, whether it's your delivery workflow, like how do you deliver your product or service to your client, whether it's estimating. I know for a lot of construction companies, estimating is pain. So what is repetitive about it? What's, what should happen? I mean, sometimes estimates take a full day or hours, and we can definitely automate some of those parts or augment them, right? And what is high volume? Usually estimates is one of them. So pick one workflow in your business or in your life and see what you can automate. I was laughing about this because people were not ready for AI in the traditional sense, but there's everyone that's saying, oh, well, when can AI come do my dishes? Mm-hmm. Right? And I'm like, I get it, girl. I get it. I'm right there with you. But what can AI do for you in terms of grocery shopping, whatever? And I've seen such really cool examples of people taking pictures of their fridge and AI coming up with solutions on recipes so that people don't stop food waste, right? Or making your regular grocery list and AI compares it for you. It just spits out what you still need to buy. Or, figuring out a schedule for laundry that will save you money. It'll send you reminders of when to put your loads in and whatever else, because I'm one of those people who, when I need laundry, I need laundry, but then my electric bill is crazy, right? Because I don't do it in the off-peak hours. So like there's so many things that you could put through this. You just have to, adjust and actually do it. And I think that's it for a presentation, right?
That is it.
Yeah. So we have the workflow. I really want some feedback from you guys. Heidi says, right, the abyss, LOL. I'm awful at getting back to messages and email, needs to improve on that, searching for techniques. You just have to prioritize. So if you have clients that are specific from a particular email address or company or domain, you just prioritize that and you'll stay up with reminders on your at the top of your inbox. If it's spam or promotional things, typically, like if you're in Gmail, it will automatically filter, but you can go further and say, I want this to just be buried in a folder that I never see to free up your, like there's so many things that you can start doing in your own inbox to kind of clear up that noise, because it's a lot of noise, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we have like 4 minutes left here, and usually at the end of the show, we like to ask Brittney. I mean, I know you've come on here lots of times, but share something with us about you that you're doing or that you're excited about, so that we can get to know you on a more personal level.
Well, going back to the conversation of earlier, I'm excited for the summer. It's really, I think I'm just going to take this opportunity for July and August to kind of take a step back in my own business, analyze and tweak some things that I know that needs to be tweaked. I'm really good at seeing gaps. Even I know my own gaps. So it's this time, the next 2 months, to fix my own gaps.
Yes, this is the true. We're not perfect either. Like we have to continuously change things all the time.
Yeah, I find like so many people come up to me and like, oh, you're killing it. You're doing da da da. It's like, just surviving with 2 young kids. They're getting older now, so it's like great. But that's the thing. Like now that they are getting older, I want to restructure the business a different way to live in the lifestyle that I know that's coming in the fall. Or so that's why we always say like one of our other not the AI training ones, but we've had other conversations. It's really important to always reassess, take a look at your business and make it kind of work for you in the different models that you're living in. It fluctuates. It's not always going to be straight and steady.
Right. It's just, I mean, you're always looking for your why and the flexibility. I think for you and I, we're very similar on that. Mm-hmm. And we're always looking to complement our life with our professional life, right? But unfortunately, a lot of it just kind of like weaves into it, one in the other. So you always kind of have to keep moving. There's never, I always say, is like just when you think you reached a balance, something changes in your life and you have to start again. Yeah. And that's the point, is that it's a continuous, wheel. There's no like A to B on balance, or else everything would be super boring. There'd be no advancement, no development, no progress, no change, right? So
it's probably why I thrive in entrepreneurship, because when I worked a 9 to 5, even the tech industry, I was so bored all the time. I was like, on to the next. What else can I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the end takeaway too for today is just challenge your thinking a little bit on how you can leverage AI, yes, but I want you to think too of like the ethical means of it and how we be sustainable, because I know there's a lot of conversations, and we'll get to that more on our sustainable chat conversation, because we'll have a full hour of that. But I just want everyone to know that Adriana and I are thinking on the ethics side and the sustainable things.
Yeah.
We're just coming in from educating on this level too.
Yeah. No, this makes sense. So our episode 3 of this is on leadership and change management and getting your team to actually use AI. A lot of it would probably apply to not a direct team, like you don't have to have employees or anything, but if you're working with subcontractors or if you're working with other people on projects, this would definitely apply. Even though you are not management, you can spearhead some really great changes in the environment that you work in. So stay tuned for that. That'll be our part 3. Thank you so much, Brittney, for making time for us to do this. I have to go on your show after, and we'll do a mini series. So we'll have to pick another topic or similar topic, depending on what we like to dive in.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Mel. Thank you for everybody that tuned in live. We are super grateful to you for making it a more interactive piece of our day. And thank you to everyone at the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network. Stay tuned, and we'll post when we'll have episode 3. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.